Being an investor in Tesla stock over the past month or so really could be described as like drinking Frank Red Hot all day long with no water. Or better yet, just throw it in your eyeballs because every time you look at your portfolio, you're losing thousands of dollars every single day. Trust me, I understand how you're feeling. But let's face the fact, Tesla stock is, at the time of recording this video at least, at $217 per share. 3 months ago, half of us would have done things we're not proud of to buy Tesla stock at $217 per share. Albeit we know what Wall Street is expecting for next year, and it's not great things for Tesla. For whatever reason that is, I couldn't tell you. But they're wrong. Unless we do go through a massive recession, and the Cybertruck is a huge flop and nobody gives a shit, excuse my language, it's a Friday, I think we can say a little PG-13 swear word in here, well, then sure, maybe Tesla stock's not the greatest buy. If Tesla sees its worst year of growth next year, as Wall Street expects, then maybe you should wait to buy Tesla. That's laughable, guys. That's seriously laughable. Wall Street has 27% as Tesla's delivery growth rate, which would be the worst in Tesla's publicly traded history. So my point is, Tesla really doesn't have to give you a blowout year next year. They just have to give you not the worst year they've ever had, and you would still beat Wall Street's estimates. Meaning that, really long story short, estimates are probably far too low. Like, not too low, but far too low. I'm expecting 50% delivery growth rates. We'll see what ultimately happens, but this is probably the easiest money you can make in the markets today at the safest kind of scale. This is not a penny stock. This is not a company that has a chance of going bankrupt. That's not Tesla, okay? And I think we all could agree on that. So it seems like pretty easy money to me. But even if Tesla is easy money in 2024, and the stock could easily double, in my opinion, just so you guys are aware, the next week is going to be very important. And there's two big reasons for that. And I've talked about this on the channel before, so I don't want to be too repetitive or too redundant. Let me give you a brief summary. On Wednesday, August 23rd of next week, you're going to get NVIDIA earnings. This is the biggest problem that we could have for the markets, at least in the short term that we can forecast. If something crazy happens in China, Europe, or the US that we can't forecast, well, that's obviously a different story. But these are definitive catalysts we know of. NVIDIA earnings, the expectations are too high. NVIDIA earnings is coming off of a blowout last quarter with blow-off top kind of guidance. That's what the markets are expecting this time around for NVIDIA. Odds are we don't get that. So that would be very bad for the markets. Very, very bad. A lot of your other AI stocks have not had good earnings. It's basically only NVIDIA. So that's a problem you want to watch for next week. The second problem catalyst we have for next week is the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. That's going to be August 24th through August 26th. That's basically going to be Thursday and Friday. Fed Jerome Powell is going to speak at this economic symposium. Last time he spoke at this symposium was August of 2022. And the markets ended up falling about 20% from the highs to the lows within the next 8 weeks following that speech. I'm not as bearish on this one because inflation is a lot lower than where it was before. And we heard on Wednesday via the Fed minutes that the Fed's more likely to give us more rate hikes than to actually pause and to stay paused. The Fed wants to see something break. So we're kind of preconditioned for a little bit more hawkishness from Fed Jerome Powell. Fed Jerome Powell, when he says we need a couple more rate hikes, it's not going to hit the same as what, we heard on Wednesday. We already know. So it's not like it's new information, and that should be priced into the markets to some degree already. Tesla stock in after hours today went up 1.5%, almost completely erasing the day's losses. All in all, when things are said and done, Tesla stock only dropped 0.16% on Friday. This is pretty good, showing signs of a bottom, at least in the short term, and a reversal. Another thing that is notable that you should know is basically every time Tesla's RSI gets oversold, unless there is a really big problem or cause for concern, the stock tends to bounce at that level. Back here in December and January, you were very oversold, and that was obviously because of what was going on with Twitter and Elon at the time selling stock and the fears around that. The last time you were really, really oversold was back in 2019. So typically when you get to this oversold level on the RSI, which is anything under 30, you do tend to bounce. And currently you're at 27.40. So I do expect a bounce over the next couple of trading days, next 3 trading days or so. But I do think you're in for lower prices after NVIDIA's earnings. I could be wrong in that. If NVIDIA comes out with really good earnings and raises guidance huge again, well, probably not. You probably go higher off of that. So take this with a grain of salt, but my opinion, you bounce over the next 3 trading days, and then you get a bigger sell-off after that. So if you have positions out there, leverage positions with options, just keep that in mind. If any of you would like to come trade with us and our community, every time I make a trade, I send out alerts, as well as other members in there post their trades as well. That's almost a requirement to be in that trading community. Link down below in the description of this video. We've had multiple members over the past week make over $20,000 hedging out their Tesla positions. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, obviously those results are not guaranteed. That's if you're really dedicated and to some degree get lucky. Well, link down below in the description of this video. Come join us. We will welcome you with open arms. Let's now get into all of the news that came out after the bell today with Tesla that you need to know as a Tesla stock investor. Lamborghini has unveiled their fully electric Lanzador concept SUV, 1,300 horsepower, 23-inch wheels, wood upholstery, more sustainable leather and recycled materials, 2x2 seating. And I mean, it's a little different for sure for Lamborghini. That's a certainty. And these are pictures of the interior. Jeff Roberts posted on Twitter 2 brand new Cybertrucks charging at Giga Texas. Cybertrucks are rolling out of the factory now. And that's certainly what it does look like. It looks like we're just weeks away from getting the Cybertruck official launch. Joe Tetmeyer, which does a lot of the drone footage over Giga Texas, he thinks that it's going to be mid to late September. So, if that's correct, well, that's very good news. Because hopefully by 2024, we're seeing some pretty good numbers being delivered to reservation holders. And these Cybertrucks are like walking advertisements. Every time someone sees a Cybertruck, they're going to turn their heads, and that's going to be very good for Tesla. Very good for the rest of the Tesla franchise. The Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, and the Model X, not to mention, obviously, the Cybertruck. But what this is also going to do is you're probably going to get media talking about this. Maybe not the media that hates Elon, but there's definitely going to be more media coverage on this strange new truck, and that could as well have that same effect as free advertisements. So you want to be fully invested in Tesla, my opinion, by the end of September, heading into October. When this delivery date is announced for Tesla, probably when the stock actually starts to recover in a much more meaningful way. Tesla Chin says on Twitter, Tesla submitted a request to Mexico's Environment and Natural Resource Minister to change the use of forest land in Santa Catarina, where the Gigafactory will be built. As of August 16th, the Sermonette Directorate General for Impact and Risk receives the soil use change process, integrates the file, and initiates the evaluation process. So it looks like we're getting ground broken soon, I know there's equipment around this Giga Mexico site already there. Doesn't look like we've actually started construction yet. And maybe this means we might get a little bit bigger of a factory than we were suggesting. Tesla's looking for some permits to clear some forest land. That's gotta be a good thing for Tesla investors. We're expecting as many as 1 million vehicles per year could come out of this factory at full scale. And this is widely expected to be the factory where we get the Model 2. That's kind of the nickname we've given the lower priced model, which is expected to be in between $20,000 and $25,000. And this is kind of your mass market, all affordable, best bang for your buck EV. We're expecting this factory will come live and start actually producing these vehicles, well, in the second half of 2024. So in the not so distant future. This is another catalyst that we can expect in 2024. Now, this next piece of news, this is actually something I meant to talk about here on the channel days ago because I looked this up for myself, but Electric covered this today and it reminded me that I never talked about this. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this right now because not too many people are, and Wall Street is really not looking at this. So Tesla's Megapack deliveries slip all the way to 2025 despite production ramp. This is not because they're not making Megapacks. Quite the opposite. The long wait you're seeing for Megapacks is because there is so much demand for them. That's what's really going on here. And you can expect a new Megapack if you're actually ordering these today in Q2 of 2025. That's quite a ways down the line. Now, these Megapacks, we've gotten images recently, within the last 8 days or so. On August 10th, this picture was taken and posted to Twitter, or it's actually a video, of 193 Megapacks. 146 right here, and the rest of them over here, waiting for shipment. Now, these Megapacks, if you take a look at Tesla's website, the lower end Megapack, the 2-hour duration of 3.9 or 1.9 megawatt energy storage, well, that one's going to run you about $2,669,050, including installation. The 4-hour Megapack is a little bit less than that, at about $2.4 million. So if you do some simple math on this, if you had what was pictured there, 193 Megapacks times, almost 7 million, that's $515 million worth of Megapacks that was sitting in that lot. As Electric points out, this is one of the products that Tesla launched in 2019 that has helped Tesla massively ramp up the deployment of energy storage capacity, which is up 222% year over year. And I think this is going to be a bright spot for Tesla, as there is so much demand in 2024. If Tesla can just fill more orders, they'll sell more. And I think this is something that is widely, dramatically underestimated by analysts today. You're basically getting the car business itself, if you include FSD, for, pretty inexpensive considering what FSD can be in the future and the subscription model that that can have. And we're going to make a video on that over this weekend. Crazy numbers we're talking about here, guys. But you're basically getting the energy storage business for free. The robotics business for free. Anything else Elon does in the future for free. So while the markets are very near-term thinking, if you're just thinking out the next year, 2, 3 years, I'm not even going to say 5 or 10 years, just the next couple of years down the line, you could make a lot of money if this pace of growth does continue. Now, I plan to make a full video on this, but I do want to let you guys on a kind of inside tip of what I just found out. So my in real life friend, like we go way back, like 10 years. He's worked at Tesla in service for a long time in Michigan, which is strange because you don't see that many Teslas in Michigan. They're not everywhere like other states. He just accepted an offer with the Tesla autopilot team last night in Michigan. I asked him if it was actually working on development, like training FSD, and he says basically yes, but more just teaching the computer the roads and fixing mistakes FSD has. This, I think, has to do with increasing competition with autonomous vehicles. Now that Cruise and Waymo now have a license to operate in San Francisco 24/7. Tesla is trying to push FSD training along as fast as possible. This is great news because some states like my own, Michigan, well, GM and Ford are based in Michigan. They're not very accustomed to Teslas. It's not as rare as it used to be to see a Tesla, but a handful a week is kind of what I see personally. And trust me, I look for them. I look for Rivians, I look for Lucids. I've seen a couple Rivians, but no Lucids. Just fun fact. So Michigan is not the most developed as far as full self-driving is concerned. This is great news in my book. So I made a video earlier in the day today, and we were talking about Elon Musk being in Japan for the first time in 9 years. The last time he was in Japan was to go over supplier contracts for batteries. Now, I asked, why do you guys think Elon is in Japan? And Homer Jacob 6328, thank you for the comment, and thank you for every single one of you guys that do comment on all of these videos. He said going to Japan to negotiate an FSD licensing agreement with Toyota. I commented back, I said, dude, you might be onto something. Because at that moment, I started to think about it. Ford seemed like the most likely OEM to be in talks with Tesla to license full self-driving. Remember what Elon said on the earnings call. Do not forget this, because at some point in the future, it will be important to remember this. Elon said they were already in talks with a major OEM to license full self-driving. Now, ever since then, I've come to the conclusion that if you look out 5 to 10 years, no matter who you are that makes and sells vehicles, no matter what company you are, I guess I should say, Ford, GM, Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, Honda, Volvo, Volkswagen, no matter who you are, you're going to need full self-driving because other companies are going to have it. By then, long before then, Tesla's going to have full self-driving. So there's going to be robo-taxis out on the road. That is going to be a reality. Now, if you are a company today that is not doing much in FSD, well, you're going to be in not so great of a position a couple years from now. And if you're a company today with really no autonomous technology at all, you really need to spend a lot of money to try to develop a software for your vehicles. And that's where it makes a lot of logical sense for companies to partner with a Tesla, for an example, for full self-driving. And I wanted to look into this Toyota situation a little bit more. And come to find out, Toyota really does not have much as far as autonomous technology. It says, just a simple Google search, while there's no fully self-driving Toyota, the 2022 Lexus LS and Toyota Mirai are the first models available with Toyota's autonomous teammate system. So they literally have two models of vehicles, higher-end vehicles, that have any form of autonomous technology. And it's basically like an autopilot. It's level 2, it's kind of lane keep assistance, things of that nature. It's not turning for you, it's not doing anything like FSD does. That's kind of smart AI autonomy. And from what I can see, Toyota does have a subsidy that now is employing 1,800 employees. That's up from 700 a year ago, called Woven Planet, and they are the subsidy that's focused on automated driving. But it seems like something's missing for the most popular auto manufacturer in the world, Toyota, to not have something more concrete to be developing full self-driving or autonomous technology. Toyota could be the major OEM. And this would be like the holy grail of OEMs, because Toyota is the top dog as far as auto manufacturers today. Like, by far, Toyota sells the most vehicles. So this does make logical sense. Ford still makes a lot of sense. GM could make a lot of sense, but they have other technologies that are already going in some vehicles. Now that means it could change, right? Ford and GM, they could opt to go with Tesla, and that would make a lot of sense because they are losing billions of dollars selling EVs. But even for Toyota's sake, they're not pushing into EVs as fast as a Ford or a GM is trying to. But I think that's because they know full well you need to be able to offer something autonomous. At least have that promise down the line to be able to. So the more I got to thinking, the more I started researching, the more that this could be the major OEM in talks with Tesla. Let me know what you think about that down below in the comment section. So that is your daily dose of everything you need to know as a Tesla stock investor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you made it to the end of this video and you enjoyed it and or learned something. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.